Alright, so this is the third time I recording this. Very annoying that the first two didn't work out. Turns out I didn't have space in my other flash drive to store it because I didn't apparently permanently delete the stuff that I deleted off of there. So, alright, let's get to it. Alright, so this is how to beat the Bujins. Obviously part of the Bujin deck is, Beast Warrior Bujins and all the other monsters supporting that along with the spells and traps. So a way to slow down the deck, you can use MST on Tenki when they activate Tenki to prevent Tenki from adding a Yamada or any Beast Warrior Bujin from the deck to the hand, because a continuous spell card has to resolve as a continuous spell card in order to get the effect of adding a Bujin, a Beast Warrior from the deck to the hand. So that's one way you could slow them, slow them down, is by preventing them from setting up Yamada or any Beast Warrior Bujin. Effect Veiler to help, negate the effect of Yamada or any of the other Bujins. That way they can't do what they normally do. Help reduce the chances of them setting up their graveyard so they can have responses. When it comes to like Crane and when it comes to Bujin Crane and Honest, switching Yamada or any Beast Warrior Bujin to defense mode will give you a better chance of running over their monsters and not get craned or honest. So stuff like enemy controller, Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, towards the concealing. This will help you, switch the battle position of the Bujin monster, so that way you can easily run it over without worrying about them being able to respond with something in their hand or in the graveyard or even on the field. Because with a face down monster, they can't use like Horn of Heaven or something like that. Not Horn of Heaven, Horn of the Phantom Beast. Just taking the monster with like creature swap would be very useful. You could also take the monster obviously with enemy controller, using one of your own monsters. Use it as XYZ material. Just basically take away what they need for their deck to run, which is basically their Beast Warrior Bujins. DNA strategy to make their Beast Warrior Bujins not Beast Warriors. I recommend Divine Beast because there's very little support for Divine Beast. You don't want to pick like Icarus Wing Beast, because if they run Icarus attack in the deck, then you're just making it easier for them to get rid of your DNA surgery plus your back row, so that way they can go off with their plays. Skill Drain just slows things down by taking away the effects that they have to do stuff on the field, of course. So that's just generically good. Light-imprisoning, obviously field and graveyard. If you're maining this, obviously. If not, if you're siding this in, obviously it works. But mainly the idea here is that you're not siding in cards. These are cards that should already be mained in the deck. And if they are mained in the deck, then you can use these cards to beat a Bujin deck, because you already have what you need in the deck. You just gotta draw into them. Compulse, the Yamada or any of the Bujin monsters, Beast Warrior monsters aren't not on the field. They can't do much, right? So they'll just be wide open to take attacks. Regeki Break, another way of getting rid of the Bujin, so that way they can't do much if they don't have anything on the field to work with. Zombie World, changing their creature type to zombies on the field and graveyard. The change on the field is the most important part, so that makes it harder for them to get their effects. If the Beast Warrior is face down, they can't really do much with all the other monsters. Necro Valley will prevent them from being able to remove the Bujins in the graveyard for their effects. since you're going up against a light attribute deck, except what's in their extra deck could be dark or fire or whatever, Ally of Justice Light Gazer is really good, because if your opponent has 10 light monsters in the graveyard, he gains 2000 attack, so he becomes a 4400 generic 8-star synchro. So for any deck that can synchro into him, he's a really good choice against light based decks like Light Swarms, Bujins, Artifacts, so forth and so forth. Obviously, since you're going up against a light attribute deck, obviously Ally of Justice Catastrophe works really good against that. So any deck that can make him, you can make him, and there you go. Ally of Justice Decisive Arms, big fan of this card. Pretty much you could just OTK your opponent. This could be a win condition against Bujins, Light Swarms, Artifact, so on and so on. Especially if you can do this first turn against an Artifact deck. Woo wee! Right? You just gotta set it up and get the effect off, right? So again, like I said, it's a win condition in itself. Black Strip of Corn comes in handy, making sure your Armada is not on the field, so that way you can just do whatever you want. Stroke, because basically a Book of Moons, so your Armada face down won't allow him to play too many cards. Alright, these are just some suggestions. Obviously there's tons of other cards in the game that you probably already using, that you used to beat the Bujins. You probably got your own ideas, of course, but these are just some stuff that I have in a lot of my decks. Most of these are pretty much in every deck. Some of these are in some decks. So it's just the idea that since they are, these basically, all these cards here are all main cards. The power that I need, the abilities that I need in order to beat a certain deck, like the Bujin deck, for example, in this video, I already have it. I already have the MSTs, the Regaki Regs, you know what I mean? In my Assault Mode deck, I got the Skill Drains. In my Malefic decks, I got Necro Valley Zombie Worlds. In my Ghost Trade deck, I got Book of Eclipse, and Swords of Concealing, obviously. I got Light Gazer in my Assault Mode deck and a couple other synchro based decks. Catastor is pretty much in every deck that I can synchro for 5. Ally of Justice Decisive Arms, I'm trying to put it in a couple of decks, but I usually win, so this is basically just a win condition itself. It's just win more, I guess, that concept. In Corn and Stroke is pretty much in almost every one of my extra deck of the decks I designed, so they're already there when I need them. More Stroke than Corn. Sometimes I take Corn out and put something else in, but Stroke tends to be in pretty much every deck. So as you can see, a lot of these cards are already pretty much in every deck that I make, so you already have what you need to beat the Bujins. These videos, obviously you would notice a lot of cards will be in pretty much in every video, like MSTs pretty much will probably be in every video. Regeki Break will be probably in every video. Bait Doll will be in almost every video, and so forth and so forth. You get the idea, because a lot of these cards are generically good and they work against a lot of decks. And that's the end of the 3rd time I recorded this thing. Hopefully it works.